Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bri, I'm the owner and artist of Upcycled by Bri, and today I'm going to take you along with me thrifting and show you my haul. We'll also do a couple of thrift flips. If that's the kind of thing you like to watch, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell next to it so you don't miss any new videos. We are here at the Giving Tree. This is my favorite thrift store here in town. I do get a discount, 30% off, since I'm a vendor at the Owl's Nest. They have the same owner. So I'm gonna take you inside. It's a beautiful thrift store, very boutique-y, and let's see what we can find. The parking lot's really full, so it's busy and it's late in the day, but you never know. I know the layout of this store like the back of my hand, and I have a route that I always follow. I came in with a few things in mind that I was looking for. If you want to see more clips of the store and my top 5 thrift tips, make sure you check out my second channel, Lifestyle by Bri. Make sure you subscribe because in the next few days I'm going to be putting out a video with my top 5 thrift tips and show you even more of this beautiful thrift store. Today I was on the hunt for wood, metal, and spring-related items. The store was a little picked over, not as full of shelves as usual, but I found some really amazing things. Let's go ahead, head back to my house, and I'll show you my haul. Again, if you want to see more of this thrift trip, be sure to check out my lifestyle channel, which I will link down below. I've sorted my haul out into a couple of different boxes here. I've got wood, some baskets and books, and metal, mostly in this haul. You'll notice kind of a brown and blue color trend, and I have some really fun finds. So let's dig into this and see what we have. Usually don't do a ton of shopping at the antique mall just because they're all resellers, so prices aren't the best for me. But one of my booth neighbors has a dollar bin, so I always run and check it. Okay, let me show you first what I found from the dollar bin. They were tied together, so 2 for $1. Look at these vintage trivets. Just beautiful. This one almost looks like carrots, but I don't think it is. That one has a rooster. So I'm keeping this one. It's going to be added to my basket wall, but I'll definitely list this one for one of my rooster lovers out there. So pretty. If you're new here, you're going to be able to find all of my thrifted finds, the paint and products I sell, over on my website, upcycledbybri.com. But I'll be sure to leave all of that down in the description box below as well. But then also in his booth, I found him. The Holy Grail of the brass kingdom, brass animal kingdom. It's a pair. Aren't they gorgeous? So they're like over a foot tall. This one is. I looked them up. Prices are kind of all over the place. Little dings in them, but you know, they have age. They are what they are. I want to keep them. I want to keep them. We're gonna see. And then on the table was the set of the brass duck heads. I have found singles over and over and over and over again, but I've never found a set. And I don't know if this is an actual set or if it was a set that got put together. Again, I love them. I'm gonna style them up with some of the books I found and I'll show you guys what they look like. They're just so pretty. But to find those two together in the same booth was super exciting. I felt like I hit the jackpot. So have y'all ever done that? Like wanted to find things forever and didn't see them. And then one time you went to a place and it was like all of your things you were looking for just nestled together like it was meant to be. Let's start off first with this lamp. So it was about $4 after all was said and done. And it is metal, but it's got some great patina on it. And then the bottom is metal as well. Now, I originally got it thinking I would take it apart and use the base as like a candle riser, but it does work. It's got this really cool eagle finial on the top. So I might put a skeleton shade on it with an Edison bulb and see how that looks and see if I like that instead. Or it might get the chop and become a project. The cord is old. It's in decent shape, but I've never recorded a lamp. I don't think it's very hard. I've just never done it. I painted a hand-cut wooden round with weathered wood by DIY, sealed it up with clear wax, and highlighted it with golden rule gilding wax. I also took a little of that golden rule around the base. I love the way this riser came out. What do y'all think? Would you have left it a lamp or turned it into a project? This is a Wardway grinder of some type. I'll look it up and I'll insert a little bit of voiceover with what I find. It's got a beautiful weathered handle. You can tell it's been used a bunch. It was sitting on the shelf like this, which is how I would display it in my kitchen for decor. And y'all know I love good metal with patina, and I love using kitchen items for decor. So I went ahead and grabbed it. $7.50. $1.50. I paid about $5.25 for it. Huge blue enamel cup. I think this is the only metal blue thing I have, but it totally kind of sparked a blue trend. You'll see that here shortly. Now, if this was in usable shape, I would keep it and use it for my coffee because it's a lot bigger than the one I use, but it obviously has a ton of dings in the bottom that go all the way through. So now it will be used for decor. I'll show you how I like to display mine. So I have two on my Hoosier already. And inside of them, I have just a couple of the little succulent and paper pots that I did for a video last year. And a perfume sample. I like to stick little succulents in them or faux succulents and put them up in my spring vignettes. Let's talk baskets. So I told you the blue theme kind of started happening. I found this one first and it was not marked. So they priced it, I think, $2. I'm sure somebody painted it at some point, but the paint is starting to chip off. So it's like that beautiful chippy blue, just authentic, a look you cannot recreate. And then clear across the store were these. So I'm assuming they probably came together, but there's two of them and they are flat backed, which I always love to do on like basket wood projects. So, $1, $1.99, $2. Beautiful, beautiful baskets. When I'm working with a lot of baskets and they're dusty, I like to take them outside and use my air compressor to clean them. It really goes a lot faster. Y'all know I've got a basket problem. I see baskets and prices just... Last one here. I want to do a DIY on this one. And I grabbed this one because it's got a good solid bottom wood base. And just a really pretty shape, really pretty dark stain. Farmhouse with the burlap on it. But I want to turn this into a blanket holder on a post. I said something about it the other day and I got a couple questions. And then I went and tried to find pictures of what I was talking about. And I can't even find it. So I don't know if I dreamt it up in my head or if I had seen it somewhere. If y'all have seen somebody do a blanket basket, like spindle basket, leave me a comment below. Who did it originally? It was, I don't think this one was marked either. I think they charged me $2 for that one as well. This is going to be perfect. For this project, I'm using Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, which is a powdered paint that you mix with water. I've got my Klingon F30 brush that I'll be using to apply it. I start off with about 1/4 cup of warm water and about 1/4 cup of milk paint powder. This is the color Moody Blue, and it is this gorgeous deep blue color. I have this post I've had for months now. I thrifted it with Sammy. It was $15 and it is gorgeous solid wood, but I don't love the deep red color. I knocked the top of it off. It was a little bit too big for the basket and I will save that for a later project. So now I'm left with this part of the post. I mixed the milk paint up really well and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes to thicken up a bit. It is thinner than a chalk or clay-based paint, so as you're painting, you'll need to watch for runs and drips. I only needed one coat to get great coverage on this dry wood, and I did not use any extra bond, which is the additive that helps milk paint adhere to surfaces. This wood was dry enough I didn't need any for the chippy look I wanted. Once that coat of paint is dry, you can see I already have some great crackling and chipping on this piece. And milk paint has a mind of its own, so be aware of that. It's gonna kind of do what it wants to do. You can use measures to prevent it from chipping if you want, but that is the great thing about milk paint, is that authentic chippiness it provides. I grabbed some 220 grit sandpaper and gave the entire piece a sanding. The milk paint chipped off where it wanted to, and the rest of it was left buttery smooth. Then I grabbed my Sweet Pickins clear beeswax to seal it up. I'll apply a thin coat with this clean, dry cloth, and it will need about 24 hours to dry. Hole down through the bottom of my basket, and I also drilled a pilot hole in the top of my pillar. Using some Gorilla wood glue, I placed it on the pillar and then placed the screw through a washer down through my basket hole and used a screwdriver to secure that on. Then I just placed some weights inside the basket and let everything dry up for a few hours. Look at the final project. It came out exactly as I envisioned. I'm glad I took the time and waited for that perfect basket. So French country, cottage farmhouse. I think it would blend in perfectly with almost any style. Leave me a comment below. What do you think about this project? $1.50 on this one. Not great with the color. And it's also a flat back. So I want to DIY and do like a aged old European finish on this one. See if I can totally change up the color and then maybe mount it on some wood. A couple days after I went thrifting, I got another huge estate sale score. Look at all the baskets that I got from that haul. So I decided to do some basket batch painting. And y'all, just a reminder, save your florals. I sprayed these down with some Dawn Power Wash, rinsed them off in the tub, and they are like brand new, beautiful flowers. So just a reminder, save your floral. Now, to do my batch painting, I'm using my HVLP sprayer. This guy is very used, very loved. I don't take good care of it. Don't be like me. But I need to order some new ones. This is what I'm working with. So there's a couple of different nozzles. This one adjusts a vertical or horizontal spray. This one adjusts a fan to jet style spray with your paint. This knob adjusts how much paint is pushed into your sprayer when you pull the trigger, and this one adjusts how much air is pushed into your sprayer when you pull the trigger. So pretty basic. Right down in here goes a filter, and then your paint cup screws on top of that. If you want a more in-depth painting video, drop me a comment below and I will do some spraying videos this summer for y'all for sure. I screw the cup on, and then you need to make sure that you filter DIY paint. It's a clay-based paint. It's super thick, and as your paint gets older, you can develop some clumps in it. So strain your paint. Generally, I use a 1-part paint to 3-part water ratio, but I wanted this to be more of a wash. So I have 1 part paint to about 6 parts water. Shook that up really well and attached it to my air compressor. I have a 20-gallon Husky air compressor. Again, if you want more detailed videos on spraying, let me know. I didn't want to bore y'all today with a super long video because this one's going to be pretty long anyway. Hand painting all of these baskets would have took forever. Spraying is so much more efficient, so if you are a reseller, I would consider maybe getting yourself a spray gun to do your batch painting. Now I'm using Sweet Pickin's top coat. I needed to use up the last of this bottle. It is a super matte finish and it sprays really well in your sprayer. You do not have to water it down. You just put it right in your sprayer and spray it out. You need to make sure you're cleaning your sprayers out when you're done. I fill the cup up with water and spray about 2 or 3 cupfuls of water through my sprayer and then scrub them down with a little brush that comes included. Now on the baskets that I didn't paint, I wanted to do a F&M inspired design. So I had these old stencils I got from who knows where, side of the road find, I think. And I used some Rust-Oleum matte spray paint. Just used some tissue paper and tape to cover up the rest of the baskets and gave a few of these pretty wooden baskets some like old stamping with the spray paint. Here is a look at all of my batch painted baskets. Now my baskets are sealed up, but I want to give them an old European finish. So I'm using a combination of DIY white and black wax and just some old chip brushes to do almost a dry brushing over the corners and the edges of the baskets. No rhyme or reason here, just have fun and play around until you get that beautiful finish that you like. I wanted to do a little bit of grainsack on a few of the baskets. I've got this cheesecloth from the Dollar Tree, right? I've had it in my stash. JRV grainsack stripe stencils. These are the grainsack minis. And then I've got 2 brushes, the 3/8 inch and the 1 inch brush. Again, all of these paint and products can be found on my website, upcycledbybri.com, and I will drop links for everything down in the description box below. So I cut a few pieces of fabric to size to fit the baskets that I was using. And then the key to stenciling here is using a very dry brush. So I got just a little tiny bit of water lily on my brush and offloaded most of the paint onto that towel. Using my dry brush, I'm almost doing a dragging and stippling motion. This cheesecloth is thin, and the grainsack stripe is probably the toughest stencil to use out of all of them. But I got it done, and then I'm using my tiny 3/8 inch brush on the grainsack mini stencil. It is great for this detail work. Using a little bit of swirling, a little bit of stippling, and you'll see this reveal. Look how crisp that image came out. Gorgeous! A great way to seal up your stenciled fabric is running a hot iron over the design. I did each one for a minute or so to make sure they were good and sealed. I'm doing a thin strip of hot glue along the seams of this fabric to keep it from fraying out all the way. It will fray up a little bit and add to that French country feel, but I don't want it to completely fall apart. And then for a little extra touch, I'm taking some of this rusty wire and just sticking it down into the wicker baskets and twisting it in the back. But it just adds that little extra touch of metal that makes it look like these grain sacks were attached with just old wire that somebody found in their shop. So I finish up the 3 that I'm doing the fabric on and move on to the next. On the next 2, I'm using old pieces of belt. You guys know I love to upcycle old belts for this French country inspired gathering basket. So not a fabric basket that I have, but I figured this would just be a special touch on a couple. And I'm using hot glue and Gorilla clear grip adhesive to attach them. Here is a look at all of my baskets all finished up. What do you guys think? Is it smart to do this kind of batch painting? Have you ever tried it before? I love batch painting, and I just love the way these baskets came out with my old upcycled floral as well. What do y'all think about the ivy? I am digging it. I know that it's super 90s, but I think I can bring it back. What do y'all think about the ivy? Leave me a comment below. I know y'all are peeping the boards in the background as well too. I made up 10 new decor boards that are in the salvaged wood and metal collection on my site, so y'all run over there and grab one before they're all gone. Next up is this kettle. I don't know if it's still usable. It's got this big ding in the lid here that I didn't really notice before. Corlin is the brand. Corlin by Roskin. I just like the shape. I thought it was really cool, and I thought it would be pretty sitting on a stove just to be pretty, if nothing else. But I'll do a little research, see if this is still in usable shape. I just really liked the dome and then the handle. So I don't pick up a lot of silver, but it caught my eye. It was only $2, $20.46, so $1.40 after my coupon. I think this is my favorite metal find, or second, first or second. I saw this, I was almost done, and it caught my eye, and I was like, ah, yes, please. So for $2.45, I picked up this little teapot, watering can, coffee dispenser. I'll look it up. Stainless steel, Mark Lewis Company, made in Taiwan. But it's got the copper top, the two-toned metal. Totally my thing, and I just love that shape. And it's nice to have some cans like this, even if you weren't going to use it for food use anymore. It looks like it used to have some flowers in it. But to water your plants with that real narrow little spout to get in for succulents and stuff, and that way you're not totally drenching all the foliage on them. Brass vase here. It's pretty tarnished. I'm gonna order some Brasso and see if I can shine a couple of these things up. I usually don't polish my brass, but there are a couple pieces I wanted to give a little bit of a shine. So this I thought would just be completely gorgeous. It's got some dings and nicks and scratches, but again, the patina just adds to it. I'll see if I can't get a better picture of it with some pretty flowers in it. I'm thinking this is like a little brass crumb catcher. It's like a half circle. It's flat right there. You sweep your crumbs onto it. That's my guess. If I'm wrong, let me know. Got a little eye hook on it too, so it could just hang on the wall. Super cute. This piece was really interesting to me. So it looks like it's a votive holder on the top, but it also looks like it was a goblet, But then it also has a little eyelet in there that looks like it was a bell. But it's got some beautiful etching on it. And I thought you could totally put a single stem, cute little wildflowers in there. You could use it for a candle. It looks like somebody already has. Or you could add a knocker to it and you could have a bell. Multi-use product. How cool is this? This was the other thing that might have been my favorite find. This is a heavy brass bell. About $4.50 for it. It's so heavy. It's got the eyelet inside, but no knocker, so it would need something new. But this is like one of those bells you hang up on the wall, and it's big and it's heavy and it's loud. So who needs a bell? Anybody have kids that are hard to get up for school? I love these vintage fruit baskets. I always pick them up. This one was only $1, so I paid like 70 cents for it. I've got a couple more that have been on my website, haven't sold, so I'm going to pull them off my site and actually group them all together in my booth. They usually sell better if there's a few of them together. I need to start building up my brass candlestick collection again. I like to keep usually a few on my site, and I'm pretty low. This one I realized I thought I only paid $1.05, but it was $1.95, so probably a little higher than I normally would pay for one that small, but it does have some cool detail on it. Again, after my discount, about $1.30, so not so bad. For $1.99, marked Japan on the back, I found this trivet. I don't see a lot of gold ones, so I thought that was super pretty. And of course, it has a bird on it. I always grab things with the birds. Now, since it was marked Japan, I definitely grabbed it. I'm going to look it up and see what I could figure out about the value. I didn't find a lot of ceramics this time, but these were gorgeous. And sticking with the blue and brown theme, I had to pick them up. But they're Salem stoneware. You've got a sugar and a creamer. I don't know what the pattern is. I will look it up and see if I can figure that out. I'll insert it. I don't know. I don't really remember seeing this before, this color scheme, or even necessarily the stamp, but stoneware anything always has my heart, and I just thought those were super cool. This pig is not old. Is he a sponge holder? But there's a couple of little divots in that. So is he like an incense burner? The steam comes out his nose. I don't know what he is. I thought he'd be cute by the sink with your little sponge in it. Oh, and he was at 99 cents. Guy on the shelf for $4. So after my discount, about $2.80. He's got some amazing crazing on him. And then all these holes in his back, which he was like an appetizer, like a toothpick, hors d'oeuvres guy. In fact, I can see a couple of the holes are clogged with like broken toothpicks. So I don't know how old he is. I'm going to look him up and I will pop that on the screen. One of my biggest tips when looking at books is don't judge a book by its cover. How cliche, right? But you see this and you're not thinking of anything too special, but you take that off and look at that gorgeous blue underneath. So be sure to check underneath the papers. I'm going to go ahead and take the paper off of this one. It's got some good aged pages, and now it is a perfect decor book. If y'all aren't following my other channel, Lifestyle by Bri, be sure to check it out. I'm going to have a video on that channel of my top 5 thrifting tips. So that is one of them. You'll have to check out that channel and that video for the other 4. Here are the stack of books I grabbed today. None of them I don't think are particularly super old. They were pretty picked over, but what beautiful blue and green colors these are. And again, if y'all don't necessarily love the spines of the books and they're good price, you can always consider just turning them around. You still get that little pop of the blues and the greens, and then you also see the beautiful aged pages without necessarily worrying what's on the spines. I went in looking for rolling pins. I only found 2, nothing spectacular about them. This one looks like it got used for a hammer at some point, maybe this one a couple times too. This was $5.99, so a little bit higher than I normally would pay. This store, I think, kind of knows what's popular in town, but it's going to get a gorgeous paint job. I wish there would have been 2, but there wasn't. I went ahead and grabbed it. It will hang as kind of like a wall sconce, but I just like to flip these upside down, stick them on a shelf for decor, or just one even will make a great bookend. If you had 2, they would obviously make great bookends. All right, last up, let's check out the wooden items. These are handmade. They are large. They were $5 a piece, but with the way wood prices are right now, I thought these had a lot of potential. They've got a good shape on them, already have hangers, and a little corbelled shelf. So I want to do either a decoupage paper or a stencil or a stamp. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but there was 2 of them. They were a great blank palette, and I went ahead and snagged them because y'all know I cannot resist a good wood project. I love grabbing old wooden spoons for display purposes. Look, watch this one. How wonky is he? Why is it so long? Oh my goodness. But after a long time and a lot of use, these get a great patina on them, and they just look great sitting out of a crock. So 50 cents a piece, I grabbed them up. They will probably go in my booth for display. That at like $1.95 each or so. I saw this wooden box, and of course it had to come home with me. I knew it had great potential. I'm thinking it's an umbrella box. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I plan on marketing it as. We'll do a fun paint job, some kind of stencil on it. It'll be super cute. Yes, please, $3.50 for this gorgeous cutting board. Gorgeous. There's even a hole right here. It doesn't go all the way through. So is that so you can like hang it on the wall? How pretty is that? And very substantial, thick, maybe like butcher block, right? $4.95 for this base and cloche, cheese tray, chip and dip, cheese ball setup. This says essentials from Thailand, so I'll look it up and see if it's vintage or not. I'm going to give it some milk paint. Milk paint is food safe, and I'll hit it with some hemp oil. These always sell very well for me. And last up today is another vintage bunny Easter tote. I sold one of these a little while back. It was wood with a hand-drawn face, hand-painted face. This one has been painted white, and I do believe that is a Sharpie face. I considered painting it, but I don't think I'm going to. I kind of love it just the way it is. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and there's a little bell next to it. If you click that to all, YouTube will let you know every time I upload a new video. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye, friends. Oh my goodness. I swear it's paint. Umbrella box, I don't know. Ow, that spoon just fell on my toe. I hope y'all had fun coming along with me doing a little bit of I hope y'all